Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for the Small Business Bootcamp. We're excited to have everybody with us. I am Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services at the Arizona Commerce Authority. As we like to do, we like to kick off and start by first recognizing all of our community partners. We could not do these webinars without them, their time, their effort, and their expertise. So for those that are new to the Small Business Bootcamp, it is a statewide supported initiative. Our community partners support it, and it is to help small businesses prepare, plan, and grow. And not only is it the webinar that we do every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., it also contains a content library, and we also do workshops as part of this series with our community partners. Talking about workshops, last week we just did a workshop on access to capital. It's a 3-hour workshop that is recorded and is available in our content library. So let's talk about our content library. From the beginning of the creation of the boot camp, we started recording all of our sessions by our expert presenters. And we have those webinars, those recordings available to you on our boot camp website. You scroll to the bottom of the boot camp website, you'll find the content library, and then you'll see that you can sort through 7 different topics to help find the presentation you're looking for. We've covered, 200 plus. We have about 250. We've done about 250 or more webinars, and about 230 of those are recorded. The ones that aren't recorded are due to licensing issues. We can't have those up there, but the rest are available. And if you can't find the topic you're looking for, please reach out to us and we can guide you to one of those sessions. This is a great tool, and again, it's available to you at no cost. Some other programs that the Arizona Commerce Authority has to help support small businesses are our Small Business Services, our Workforce Division, and our Arizona MEP, our Manufacturing Extension Partnership. These programs are available. We provide that support, and again, if you have additional questions, you can reach out or go to our website and find more information on our website about these programs. Another great tool that's available is our Small Business Checklist. And this is designed for entrepreneurs to identify the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance needs as they start their business or expand their business. You can also find additional information for your small business on this checklist. It is a very thorough and in-depth tool. There's no cost to use it. It's on our website, and you can go through and select the items for the detailed information you want. If you're looking for a simpler, quicker version, you can see right there in the lower right-hand part of the screen is Sally, our state and local licensing information virtual assistant, and you can use our chat there to help identify some quick responses. But if you're looking for a deep dive into the materials, you can go straight to our checklist and get the detailed information. With that, we want to look at some of our upcoming sessions. We have how to create a marketing strategy to skyrocket your business growth. We're looking forward to that with Nicole Zeno. And then our following week, we have navigating Arizona's changing online retail tax laws. We're really excited about this. We've been working with the Department of Revenue to get this webinar together for a long time. And it's to focus on some of the ins and outs of the tax implications of selling online, whether you're selling products or services within the state, out of the state. They're going to touch on both in-state and out-of-state. It's called Economic Nexus, and it's related to the taxes that are required as you have an online store or sell online services. And then on the September 6th, we've got zero cost small business programs. We're going to share have some of these programs on to talk about what they do and how they do it, that are no cost small business owners, but are there to support you as you start and grow your business. We are looking forward to having the SBDC score, the Web Business Center, be part of that. It's going to be a great session as well. So hopefully you can make those. We are looking forward to them, and we've got a great lineup throughout the end of the year as well. So with that, we're going to jump into today's session. We just have the picture of Isaac today, but we have Isaac and Kim from LocalFi They are partners. They've been on with us before. They do a phenomenal job talking about local SEO. Their insights are awesome. And though they're Arizona based, they are national nomads. They love to travel about with their business. And so each time we have them on, they're in a different part of the country. But they are eventually going to return to their home base here in Arizona, at least for a little bit. But with that, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing. We're going to turn the time over to Isaac and Kim. Just a note real quick as some housekeeping, please put your questions in the Q&A, and then we'll use this chat box for other interaction. And I know that Isaac and Kim will be looking at that as we go. So Isaac, Kim, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Faith, for having us on. And thank you, everyone, for attending today. We're excited. I think this is maybe our 4th or 5th webinar we've done with you guys. So it's always fun to be back. And yeah, so today we're going to be really covering local SEO, really how to drive traffic through online, utilizing things like Google Maps and Yelp and, different platforms that actually drive what we found some of the most customers to locally owned businesses out there. And so we're excited to be able to share a lot of this information with you. A lot has changed since the last time we did a webinar about this. So we're going to be covering a lot of new things, actually. But first, I want to share a little bit more about us. I'm Isaac and I'm the founder, and then Kim is the CEO of the COO of the company. What's amazing again about entrepreneurship is that when I met Kim, she was actually a certified vet tech. She had been a vet tech for over 8 years, and we really looked at, how could we travel a lot? And we also saw that, unfortunately, vet techs are not paid very well, and that she was actually going in debt more every month. And all she was paying was her medical bills and her student bills. Like, she didn't have excess things, and yet was still going into debt. So it's one of those things that, we looked at and said, how can we get you out of this cycle of, working full-time over full-time? But always having these bills come at you. And so within a year of launching our company, Kim was working full-time and part-time for our company. I was working full-time for LocalFi, and then within a year we were able to pull Kim completely out of her 9 to 5. We've been traveling almost full-time ever since. So Kim, if you want to say hi quickly and just share a little bit about you and how people can be interactive with the webinar.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Robert and Faith, again. Really excited to share so many knowledge bombs with you guys today. If you don't already, bring out some paper, pen, typing. We actually give you real knowledge in this. So we want you and encourage you to take action after you watch this webinar, if you want to positively impact your business, that is, which I know all of you do. And like Isaac said and Robert mentioned, please, we love to make this interactive. If you've never met with us before or watched any of our webinars, we usually have loads and oodles of questions during the webinar. Don't wait until the end, shoot it out into the Q&A. I will actively be answering you during the webinar while Isaac is talking most of the time. And if, we might pick out a particular couple of you where we can ask your question out loud so that everybody can hear. So definitely encourage you, you have a question, ask it in the Q&A, and thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Kim. So just a little bit about us is, we love to elevate and accelerate businesses. That's what we do. And we also focus on freedom, creating freedom for the business owners, creating more freedom for the staff. There's a variety of ways that we really love to help people create freedom in their lives. We never stop exploring and traveling the world. It's, one of our passions. We actually just accomplished our 46th national park. There's only 63 in America. So we've been all across America multiple times, and we're just about to leave for another cross-country road trip from New York to Arizona. And this will be about our 4th or 5th time traveling across the whole country. So and we love to support and grow and strengthen communities. One of the things that we love about America is that there are so many communities all over the place, and communities are really what I believe are the backbone of America. And the locally owned businesses in those communities are really the cornerstone of every community. So by helping these locally owned businesses, we really know that we're helping communities all across America, and that just really pumps us up. So Just sharing a little bit about that. Now, what we're going to be talking today, really, we're going to be focusing on Google My Business, also known as Google Maps. And the platform you use to control essentially your Google Maps is Google My Business. So Faith, if you could launch that poll, we'd love to hear how many people in the last month have used either Google Maps or Yelp in the last month, and let us know with that poll what your answer is. I tried to vote and then it told me I couldn't. Yeah, let us know, and I know we'll share the poll in a second, but just to show you essentially why Google Maps is so powerful, Google My Business is because when you set up your Google My Business account, you actually are shown in a variety of ways on Google. It's not just on Google Maps. So one of the most important things that happens is you generate your Google business card. So you can see right here on the right, this is our Google business card. And it's literally the first impression people are going to get when they type in the name of your company. And as you can see, if you've optimized your Google business card well, it takes up the entire first page of Google. So we're talking about almost 30 to 40% of the screen share is actually, that Google My Business card. So that's why it's so powerful. And we just got that poll back, and 91% of people have said that they've used Google Maps or Yelp in the last month. So that's just a quick sample of the people on this, and just to show again how many people are actually utilizing these platforms. Thank you, Faith, for launching that. So a couple of things I want to highlight in the Google business card. Again, what we find when we start helping customers, the first thing we tell people is, hey, your word of mouth advertising is about to go through the roof. Because what happens is that no matter how somebody hears about you nowadays, they almost always are going to Google you first, and they're going to see what other people are saying. Even if they're just looking for your phone number or your driving directions, they still are going to Google you, and they're going to see this Google business card first. So one of the first things you see is reviews. And as you can see, we have 59 5-star reviews and 1 1-star review, which we're going to be talking about a little bit later in this. And then you go through, you can actually see products. Now this looks a little different for us because I can actually add things right now because I'm logged into my profile, but you'll see products, and it's really cool. You can actually add a lot of products now, and people can get a really good snapshot of what you're offering right through this Google business card. You can see different categories that Google believes that we're related to. It will show you reviews from across the web. So it will actually grab sometimes your Facebook, sometimes your Yelp, sometimes your TripAdvisor. That's not really up to you, but Google will grab that. It shows a quick start of several reviews, and we're going to be talking about what happens if you get a 1-star review, especially a fake 1-star review, which is what this is, and we'll be showing that in a little bit. And then you can actually show a description. So this is really important. I would say most local businesses miss this description, and it's really important to put it in here and use keywords while you're putting it in here. And essentially a keyword is what is something that somebody is typing into Google that you want to show up for. For us, that would be SEO marketing or SEO services, digital marketing. All of those are keywords that we want to show up for. And then what's really cool is they've actually allowed you to start doing posts. So these posts, you can post posts, events, offers. And this is a really great way to both communicate with Google about what you offer and with your consumers about what you offer. So you can see we have a variety of posts, and it's essentially become like the social media of businesses through, doing this type of stuff. And you can see we even have a reputation post. And we even talk about Arizona Commerce Authority in there because we've partnered with all these different organizations and helped them out in a variety of ways and whatnot. So a lot of cool things that you can do with these posts. So just want to show you kind of just the power of that, and just one aspect of Google My Business that's so powerful is this Google business card, and it really helps with conversion of word of mouth advertising. I would say our sales cycles generally cut in half when you have good reviews and you have a good profile. And more people will come out and be like, oh yeah, I heard about you. You right now don't know how many people have heard about you through word of mouth and aren't following up with you because they search for you online, and you may not show up, or you may not show up that well. And you're actually losing these customers that you don't even know were potential prospects. So just want to show you kind of the back end of a couple businesses, so you kind of can see the power that you can see. So this is Flanter's. Probably some of you have eaten there. Incredible sandwich shop there in both Mesa and Chandler. We manage both their locations. And you can see, you know, they're showing up over almost 70,000 times a month online in searches. And then their activity, you can see they're driving 468 website clicks, 121 calls, almost 200,000 photo views, and 274 driving requests. I mean, you can see that just from these stats, driving a couple hundred new customers utilizing Google Maps every month to this business. And the cool thing is these customers will oftentimes turn into repeat customers, and then they'll bring their friends, and, you know, they get to share more and more. So, you know, this is a great snowballing effect of a way to drive customers. So I just want to show a completely different industry, because Kim actually looked into it the other day, and we've actually helped 59 different industries do this, and we see so many different industries. So this is Galena Fine Jewelers. They are located in Cottonwood, Arizona. Their views are a lot less because not as many people are searching for jewelry stores are as for restaurants, right? But again, they have a much higher ticket item than a restaurant meal. So as you can still see, they're still driving 76 website clicks, 65 calls. We got to talk with them. And when we started with them, because they've been with us now for almost 4 or 5 years, when we started with them, they were doing between 600 and 800,000 in revenue. What's really cool is this last year, they had their biggest year ever at $2.5 million in revenue. And during the pandemic, they actually did so well that they were able to move across the street and get a much larger location, expand their offerings. So, you know, really amazing to be able to work with somebody and see them quadruple their revenue, you know, in a period of time. You know, that's very fast. So, you know, that's really awesome too. And we're actually going to be going in and showing the back end of a very cool company, Arizona Elite Girls Basketball Club. They are a not-for-profit women's basketball club here in Arizona. They actually had an amazing reputation, word-of-mouth reputation, before we started working with them. They've had over 5 Olympic gold medalists go through their program. They have, I believe, 11 current or former WNBA players. They were very well established as one of the most premier women's basketball clubs, but they had 0 online presence when they reached out to us. So they actually reached out to us to see if we could help them with the website. But when reviewing what they really had set up already, we really thought that utilizing Google My Business was actually the better move, because they really needed to capture their amazing reputation online and drive traffic that way. And so that's been very fruitful for them. They've had great results. They actually just sent us a whole email talking about how great, you know, it's been working with us and the results that they've seen. So I'm going to go in and kind of show the back end now of this and how it works. Now, I do want to let everyone know this back end of Google My Business is still currently active, but Google is making some huge changes and may get rid of this back end. We're not sure yet, but they've actually pushed and changed the way that most businesses are being able to edit their profile. And Kim's going to actually review and go through the new way that's happening, but I'm going to show the old way quickly because it's still active. We don't actually know if Google's going to get rid of it or not yet. I think they've had a lot of pushback because they've tried to push people to the new way and people don't like it as much. So I think they've had a lot of pushback. So we'll see. Google does what Google wants, and our job is to adjust to that as business owners. So I'm gonna dive in a second and start going over these different things that you can do in Google My Business. But first, I'd love everyone to hop on chat and tell us, what industry are you in? We'd love to know all the different industries. It's so cool. One of the things we love about working with you know, small businesses and local businesses, there's so many different industries out there. We work in industries we didn't even know existed before we started working with the company. So hop on chat and let us know some of these industries that you're in. All right, and so I'm going to jump in and actually start showing you the back end and just some different things that you can do here. So one of the first things is your homepage. What's really great here is you can kind of get a quick shot of how you're showing up online. When we started with this company, they literally had 0 online presence aside from a website. So they had 0 across the board. Now they're getting over 3,000 views a month, which is really amazing. And as you can see in activity, they're getting 259 website clicks. You know, so that is really cool to see that many website clicks, and that's obviously driving people. And, you know, again, with the reputation we've been able to help them capture, people are already going into this seeing and feeling good about the company. So then when they get to talk with them and actually realize how elite they actually are, you know, they're actually getting way more signups and have been able to fill up their clubs a lot faster. So it's been really cool to be able to help them with this. So this is really cool right here to be able to get to see these things. Now, the next thing I want to show you is posts. This is a huge opportunity for almost all businesses. Few businesses are doing it, and few businesses are doing it the correct way. Really, you have to think about posts as you're communicating to two different parties. You're communicating to Google and you're communicating to your consumers. Now, communicating to Google is important because Google is going to rank you higher the more trust they have in your company and the more relevance your company has to the keywords being searched, right? So a couple ways to increase trust. One of the ways to increase trust is to do Google posts, because Google sees if you're being active on your profile, if you're uploading photos, if you're doing posts and that kind of things, they have more trust that you are a business that's actually in business, that's doing what you say you're doing. The other thing is using keywords within these posts. So as we talked about, for them, this is going to be, girls basketball club. This is going to be, basketball tournaments, a variety of different, keywords that you want to make sure that you're putting in the content, because that's going to help Google identify what keywords that you're going after. So when people are searching for those said keywords, it's going to, have you show up more. So this is a really great thing. As you can see, we like to post every single week. That's what we do for our clients. We post once a week. Even if you're just posting once a month, that's pretty good, So, I know it can be hard to post all these different places, but, posting at least once a month is what we recommend. And again, you're really thinking about, okay, these posts are going to drive some consumers, but it's also really going to help with Google and them understanding what you offer and another way to insert keywords. So in terms of using it here on this back end, there's a couple new things that you can do. You can now do post offers, which is really cool. If you're having a sale of some sort, you can post an offer. And you can actually set dates up and all that kind of stuff. And you can even post an event, which is really cool. So you can see this post we actually listed as an event, and we say what the event days are. And then Google actually, you probably noticed if you type events near me, Google now shows on the very top, it shows Google events. And this actually gets indexed into those Google Events tabs. So what I was saying, when you set up your Google My Business account, it actually pushes out to a variety of different places that Google owns. And, Google wants people to stay on Google. And so they've been putting out things like, obviously, you see the weather is right there on Google, events are right there on Google, different things. And so this is really cool that it indexed into that. So creating a post is really, I recommend that, you definitely put out some posts. And like I said, it's a great way to give people a quick snapshot of what you're offering. If you have additional services, one story I like to tell was Galena Fine Jewelers actually is a woman went in, she bought a bunch of jewelry. She left, she went home, she actually saw a post I did for them about them gold buying. And then she went back and was like, oh my God, I didn't know you guys actually offered this. And then I saw it on your Google My Business profile. And then they did another whole transaction. And this woman just didn't know by being in the business they actually offered that. So that's really, really powerful. So okay, a bunch of people have put in what they're in. So I'm just going to read some of these off right now. So payroll solutions, real estate, law and hospitality, gym fitness owner, home and building design, notary company, tourism, hypnosis. Yeah, so, a lot of these are, again, going to do very well on Google Maps and Google My Business. We have found that B2C companies do drive the most traffic because, customers are looking more. Well, B2B businesses oftentimes do get driven a lot through referrals. However, even with a B2B business, as we are a B2B business, having that reputation is huge. And so now when somebody hears about us, they already want to work with us before they even have met us because of the fact that we have such good reputation online. So hopping into the info tab, this is where you actually edit a lot of the things that you can add. You can add categories, as you can see here. Here's how you edit your name, your hours. You can actually add special hours. You can have, this is with a phone number. You can even set up an appointment link if you want to drive people directly to that appointment link. Services. And then this is where you edit your description, which again is a really big deal. I encourage everyone to go look at their business right now. What I suggest you do is just go onto Google and type the name of your business, make sure there's not a .com in there, and then see if your Google business card pops up. So if your Google business card pops up, then you have one. If it doesn't pop up, that means you can create one. I'm not going to really be going into that a ton because there's a lot of information. You know, if you just YouTube how to create a Google My Business account, you'll find many information. We really want to, you know, target the more juicy stuff that's not out there. So yeah, so the info tab is where you update a lot of these things. So going into insights is really cool because it gives you more data about how things are looking. So as you can see, you know, it shows listings on search, which if you're showing up on search, that means you're showing up in the top 3 when you're searching on a Google regular search. So that's really cool about local SEO as well, is the top search actually is going to be Google Maps, you know, the top 3 sections. So you know, you're not just showing up on Google Maps, you're showing up on a regular Google search. And as you can see, they show up on searches all the time because we've optimized them really well for their keywords. And as you can see, you know, there are going to be ups and downs as you go along. You know, this is a busy month. Things fluctuate, but, you know, that's just business, and you need to know and understand, you know, that aspect of fluctuation and when the busy times are. Arizona especially has busy times and off seasons just because of the heat in the summer. A lot of businesses see a drop during the summer. And utilizing this data helps you understand that so you can plan better for next year as well. You know, customer actions is really cool because, again, you can see, you know, they're driving 10 to 20 people every single day to the website, where before they didn't have this at all. So people weren't finding them. It even shows you when phone calls are coming in, again, can help you with understanding staffing, photo views. There's just a lot of data in here. So those can all be helpful. Reviews is where you go to just see reviews and then respond to reviews. Now, one of the secret sauces that we teach and what we do for our clients is you can actually leave keywords in your response to reviews. So you can see right here, club basketball teams, right? You know, that's a keyword that we want to rank for. So we put that in a response to review. Google actually crawls reviews and sees other keywords in there. And then if someone types in something like club basketball teams near me, Google will even bold and highlight reviews of when people are talking about that. So that is a little secret sauce that we like to do for all of our clients, is drop these keywords in the responses to reviews. We do encourage everyone to respond to reviews. Google, again, this builds trust. If you're responding within 48 hours, Google knows that you're an active business. And so we actually respond to all reviews for our clients within 48 hours. And we actually even backlog if clients have, you know, Flancer's had like 700 reviews that hadn't been responded to. We actually go through, and it takes us maybe a couple months, but we go back and respond to every single review as we're going along. Call history is here. Actually, it's pretty interesting that you can actually see calls now. You can see when they were called, how long the call took, if it was answered or not answered, if you missed a call. This is pretty new. It's still in beta. And Kim will talk a little bit more about this and some of the interesting things that happen when you turn on call history just a little bit. They also have messages now. So Google My Business has messages. And this really depends. We don't turn it on for all of our clients. It really depends. Are you able to respond quickly? For us, honestly, we were getting a lot of spam, so we just turned it off because most of the people reaching out to us with messages were spam. And so it really depends on the industry. We have certain industries, especially service-based industries, you know, home services, they do really well with messages. So we find that sometimes it can work well, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the industry and everything like that. So photos is huge. So again, building trust, being able to add photos to Google My Business builds a ton of trust, both with your customers and with Google. Now, one, again, secret hint is that you really want to name your photo before you upload it with a name that has a keyword associated to what that photo is about. A lot of people just upload photos that are named, you know, 1.227.jpg or whatever. And that doesn't help you at all. So at least name the file type. We actually go the next step and we go into the file and we add metadata and we add geolocations. But you need special software to do that. If your phone geolocation is on, that actually oftentimes is already in there if you're using a picture from your phone, so that can have that. But at the very minimum, definitely upload at least change the file name to something that is related to what that thing is. And as you can see, they have different categories in here. Now, again, with the changes in Google, we're not sure if this is going to go away or not, but for now, we still put in interior, exterior, at work, team, all these different things that we do. And it's really important because Google typically likes to see at least a minimum of 3 for each category, and that just helps, again, build trust. Now, one thing to note is that the cover image here, this is how you can upload your cover image, and that's that first image that shows up, right? This is our cover image. Now, you can suggest a cover image to Google, but they don't always accept it. So sometimes you may have to pick a couple different cover images and switch them out to see which one Google is going to accept. They usually want to put in a cover image that shows the outside of your location with signage. So they're going to prioritize that. But as you can see, we didn't want to put the outside of our big office complex. There's many offices in this complex. And so we, put our faces, with a backdrop. So you are able to force a cover image in, but sometimes you have to do it a couple of times and be consistent with that. So products, again, really cool, fairly new thing that they've offered where you can add a bunch of products. Again, we do this both for consumers and for Google. When we're putting in products and we're putting in keywords into those products, Google's reading that. So this can be a great way to kind of sneak extra keywords into your Google profile. And it's a great way for customers to quickly learn about different products and services you're offering. Because honestly, most companies offer more things than most consumers even know that you offer. And so by highlighting some of these different areas that you want to grow, or if you have overstock or anything like that, this is a great way to add that. And like I said, add those additional keywords. And then services as well. So you can add services in, and again, you can see we put a lot of content in these services. And again, that really just helps, build your trust with Google, show up for those keywords. So this is another great opportunity that a lot of local businesses are missing out on. One thing I do want to talk about quickly is the website. Google actually will populate a website for you now, utilizing all the data in your Google My Business. And so if you don't have a website currently, this is actually a great solution. I think it's much better than just building your own on Wix or something, because it will take, and it actually shows images. It will show the posts that you've done, and this will update as you do more posts. It shows your testimonials. It shows about us. It shows your photos, and it shows your map. So they already have a website, so we haven't launched this for them, but this is a really, really cool solution for companies that are just starting up. One of my clients once, before we were offering web design, their website, they hired someone and they destroyed the website, and the website went down, and we launched this for them temporarily, so at least they had something as we built them a new website. Things like that, utilizing this. And sometimes, again, Google loves it when you use their stuff. So we'll even launch this for businesses if we have a website sometimes, because it's just another platform. It's another thing that Google's seeing, and just they love it when you're using their thing. So it can help you show up higher in the rankings. So this is a really cool solution a lot of people don't know about for creating a simple but effective one-page landing page, completely free to use. And it can be quite effective, when you're first starting up. And you can change the themes, you can change kind of how it looks a little bit. It's simplified. You can't do a ton of customization, but there's definitely some stuff you can do. So wanted to show everyone those things. So that's just a quick highlight of this back end and what is out there. And what you can do on Google My Business. I went through this pretty quickly because I wanted to leave time for Kim to show the new way, as most people are going to probably be utilizing this. And we believe Google is transitioning to maybe forcing most businesses to use this new way, as it's going along. So Kim, you can get set up for that. I do want to show one thing quickly before, and that is actually we do have a free business scan. One of the other ways to build trust with Google is to have your data online correctly in a variety of places. And so with that being said, this business scan, you can actually go through, fill it out, and it will show you how you're showing up online. And a lot of times, if you've essentially ever owned another business, or you've moved into a location that was another business, or you've moved locations, there's wrong data floating out there online. So this scan will help you find it. And Google essentially looks at it as the more places you're listed online with the correct data, the more trust they have on you, so the higher they're going to rank you. So To get to this, you just go to localfiseo.com, and if you click on a free academy and business scan, I'm going to hand it over to Kim, and I'm actually going to run a business scan while she's talking so that we can show this in just a second. But Kim, if you want to take it away and show, so really pay attention, guys, because this is like brand new. A lot of people don't even know that this has happened yet. We heard rumors about this happening, and we're keeping up on it because this is what we do. So by utilizing this and knowing how to utilize this, you're going to be really ahead of a lot of other businesses out there. So Kim, if you want to take it away.
Thanks. And before I get started, Isaac, I do want to address one very good question that comes up often. What do you do if you don't have a physical location that a customer can walk into? One really important thing to know, and Isaac's going to show you in the back end on Google, hopefully you can right now, but Google has rules to follow. If you list an address on Google My Business, that means you're following their rules, which means you have permanent signage, not a sign you can pick up and move. You have a physical area that customers can walk into, like a lobby or seating or something along those lines. But what if you don't have those things? What if you have a home-based business or a virtual business? Well, Isaac is going to show you real quick behind the scenes what to do in that situation to kind of, well, to still follow Google's rules without showing an address.
Okay, putting me on the spot. I like it.
I sure did. It's really important for people to know, though.
Absolutely. So as Kim said, we absolutely work with businesses that don't have a physical location. And when we're doing that, we just set up service areas instead. So when you're building the Google My Business profile, and I know Kim sent a link in the questions or the chats about where to go to do that, you can actually select show an address or don't show an address. You still need to put an address in because you're going to need to get a postcard because Google verifies via postcard, though they do seem to be changing this up and verifying in a variety of different ways now. But you may still need to get a postcard. But if you don't show your address when you're setting this up, you can actually list service areas. So you then can put in zip codes, you can put in cities, you can put in states. I do not recommend putting in like America or the world because Google really wants to see that. And if they see that you're located in Arizona and you're servicing America, they may not believe you, even if you are, right? We can service clients all over America, but still, when we're building our Google My Business profile for us within our area, we're targeting our local area because that's really where we're driving traffic from that Google My Business profile. So do keep that in mind. And then if you want to target other areas, oftentimes what we do is set up additional Google My Business profiles. So if you go in here and click edit, this is actually one that's already been made, but when you're setting it up, you can set it up and you can click, don't show my address essentially. But if you wanted to stop showing your address, essentially you would just delete all this data and click apply. And there'll be a wording that comes up and says, okay, you're not going to show your address anymore. And then you can go in here and then set up your service areas. And so this is how you set up service areas. And, again, for a lot of our service-based businesses, we're setting up service areas in the different zip codes that they want to hit. And we like to niche it down even into zip codes, but sometimes cities and everything like that. So that's really how you can do that. And again, it's still a great way, even if you don't have an address. Now, we do find you will drive more traffic if you are showing an address because your little point shows up on Google Maps. But even if you don't, it's still a great way to capture reputation, a great way to capture reviews, and that it's, you're still going to drive traffic from it when people are searching. So definitely recommend people doing that even if they don't have an address. Now, one thing I did want to talk about quickly, and I think Kim's going to show this in the new way as well, but getting reviews is really, really key. And you can actually share the review form. So back in the day, we actually used to create a code that it was a quick link and that would drive people directly to the review box. Now, Google eventually caught up 5 years later, and they're giving it to you without needing to code or anything. So this is how you grab this. And if you send this to someone, it will bring you right to the review box. It makes it way easier for people to leave a review instead of having to search for you online, find the reviews, click write a review, all that kind of stuff. So this is a great way to find this and use this. And Kim will show you another way on how to find this and use this as well. So back to you, Kim.
Back to me. All right, let's dig in, everyone. So first important thing to know about Google News. The My Business app is what you used to be able to use on your phone to be able to manage Google My Business. That's out the window. They got rid of that. So what to do now? If you're managing from your phone or if you're managing from your computer. So if you do manage it from your phone, now you need to manage it from the Google Maps app on your phone. First important thing to know is if you're on your phone, make sure that you're logged into the appropriate email associated with your Google My Business listing. With that being said, that's why I showed you the little bubble right there with our faces in it. That's how I know if I click on that, it shows my email. Then in the search bar on your phone, you're going to search for your business that you're managing. As you can see here, it says Arizona. Oh, look, you manage this business. If I click on that, now I can see this is how many views I have. I can edit my profile and so on. So that's how you do it from your phone. I'm actually going to be showing you from my computer now because all the things that you see on desktop are the same on your phone, which is nice. So from desktop though, I'm going to share my screen here. You will not be managing it through Google Maps. You will actually be managing it through a Google search. So I type in Arizona Elite Girls Basketball Club. Here is my Google business card. And on the left, it says, hey, this is your business info. So it says right here, I have 3,500 views this month, edit profile, promote customers. If, like Isaac said, at some point Google decides to completely get rid of the back end of Google My Business, this will be the only way you can manage your business from your computer. So this is important for you to know. You'll use all these tabs. Number one, if you click on edit profile, you can go through your business information. And again, you're filling out everything from here. The business name, the categories, description. Sounds familiar, right? Because Isaac just went through all of this with you guys. Phone number, website, you drop your pin to where it goes, add your service areas, hours, and more. This is especially good for you restaurant folks. What are your happy hours? When do you do brunch? When do you have access to your RV park? Or, there's so many different hours you can add here. Fill out Google My Business as much as you possibly can. Google loves it when you feed it more information. The more information, the better. It's also great for your prospects who come across you. So, accessibility, amenities, if you click into each of them, they'll give you different, do you have a swimming pool? Do you have Wi-Fi? Things like that. And when we're back in that edit profile tab, hours, like we just talked about, most of this is super easy, user-friendly, like fill in the blank, click on each section and you can fill this out. Even like planning, do you require a membership? Products, like Isaac talked about, this is great for businesses who sell actual physical products. You can not only write out an entire description or what the name of it is, put a graphic in here, you can also put in a price. You can also put a button in. So if you're selling things from your website, people, put that button in there and link it exactly to that page where they can buy that product. Now, no one will have to leave Google My Business and they can buy it right here. To add a product, you click the button that says add product and fill in the blanks. And you can put in a price range too, which is cool. Other things, services. Services in particular, like Isaac mentioned, are great because it's essentially showing people a menu of services. What is it about girls basketball? Well, we offer Mesa basketball leagues and AAU teams. Know all the things that you offer. It's great for SEO purposes because you can write out a description for each of these things, but it's also great for people to know what's going on. When people are coming across you. The thing is, these services only pop up on your phone at this point. So if I'm a user and I'm coming across Girls Basketball Club, as you can see, nothing in this GMB card shows me services because I can only see it from my phone. And right now I'm showing you my computer. So that may change in the future, but as of right now, photos you can add through here. Just upload your photo. One interesting thing that Isaac and I have learned is with this new system, you will not be able to add to a specific category. Whereas in the back end of Google My Business right now, I can add interior photos, exterior photos, at work photos, team photos. You do not have that capability as of right now through, Google search, essentially. You can add your logo. Another thing to note about adding your logo or cover photo, you don't get to preview that photo before it is launched. So once you add a photo, you're definitely probably going to want to come in here and check it and make sure that it looks good. Other things, this promote button right here in the center, if you click this, you can click on performance and actually see how you're performing. As Isaac mentioned, you have a ton of different capabilities with the Insights tab in the back end of Google My Business. However, in here through search, you can suggest, I want to see July to August and so on like that. You have limited insights available compared to the back end of Google My Business. So we'll see what Google does in the future with that. But this is a great way to see how have people discovered you. Well, 68% of people are using a Google search from their phone to find this business. That's good insight for you as a business owner. Also, this section, searches breakdown, this is a great way to see when is Arizona Elite Girls Basketball Club popping up in search results. Well, when you type in Arizona Elite Basketball, that's great. Even when you type in basketball and you're in Mesa, you can go through and see youth basketball leagues. It's a great, another insight for you to use to understand how people are coming across your business. Advertising is with Google Ads. If you click there, photos we talked about, reviews, again, are super important because Google actually looks at how often is a business getting reviews and how quickly are they being responded to. Even if you respond within 24 to 48 hours, that is amazing. That actually plays into the relevancy factor of ranking you higher in search results in Google's eyes. So if you click on this button, ask for reviews, here is that quick link again, like Isaac was showing you. So again, if we go to this link, it takes you directly to the write a review box. This is going to help all people be able to leave you a review much faster when you politely ask them for it. Don't feel nervous about asking for reviews. It's your way of being able to help more people. And that's what you can say. Please do me a favor. It would help me help even more people, with your business. Ask for add an update. So Isaac talked about Google posting. When you're in the promote tab right here, there are 3 different ways to add a Google post. You can click add update. This is if you just want to post an update about, educating people about your services or something new, a new product that you offer, something like that. An offer is essentially like a coupon, if you put your junk at the end of the curb, get 10% off your junk removal services. It even says like 20% off store. So add a start date, an end date. You can even add more details like actual text, which I encourage. You can even add your own code. So people have to mention that, different links you can add in here. The other one I really like that you should use if possible is an event post. Event posts are awesome because with Google Posts, where do they pop up? Let's start there. They pop up at the bottom of your Google business card. If you're on your phone, they're actually gonna be in the updates tab right next to the overview section. And these are going to stay up here for 6 months. It is a while. It used to be 7 days and then it would disappear. Now it is 6 months. And you can see it has this very nice little carousel here. The cool thing about events, like I was talking about, is if you post an event and you say, hey, this is going to be live from the day I post it, and the end date is going to be December 24th of 2022, then that means this post is going to be live until December of 2022. Whatever your end date is, your post will stay up there until that event has passed. So that's another really cool way to get your post to stay up there longer. And all sorts of different events are available there. The last thing I want to show you here is customers. So if you click on customers, you can respond to reviews right through here. You can get your quick link by clicking this get more reviews button, copy that there. You can also, sort by newest, highest, lowest. But with customers, you can also check out your call history like Isaac was talking about. I can look in a different time period, see who called, when, their phone number. But I can also look at Q&As, which is interesting. So anybody can ask a question on your Google My Business card. It would be best if the owner answered it, because guess what? Any customer, not customer, anybody can answer that question. Who knows better about the business than you? So you should be the one answering it. In this case, we have no questions to show you, but your questions are actually going to pop up here as well. And just really quickly, I'll show you where they pop up. Right here, questions and answers. You can see there are 27 questions. Do you have Wi-Fi? Then the the business owner answered, which is helpful. So if you can, definitely pay attention to that section. The last most important part I want to show you is messages. Like Isaac said, some businesses do so well by having this messages feature turned on. That is not the case for all businesses. Like LocalFi us, we were getting spam, so we shut that off. However, somebody like Best Junk Removal, a junk removal company, he gets a ton of messages. Really good prospects sometimes too. So you can see he has 2 new messages. If I click on this, then I can see, hey, will you demolish my house? No, we don't do whole home removals. So he can communicate right through here. It's just like text messaging. It's very easy. So I can just type in here and hit send. So you definitely want to make sure, at least Google used to do this. If you don't respond to these messages, in 24 to 48 hours, Google does have the ability to turn your messaging off so that you can't receive new messages. But when, a visitor visits here, they can click request a quote or message you directly from finding you on Google. So again, it's just another opportunity to drive you more traffic, which is actually really, really helpful. Open all the avenues and doors of opportunities for you guys, if you can, and that is the new Google My Business in a nutshell. As Isaac shared, just remember, at this point, you have an option. If you find that way easier to manage through Google search on your computer, if you find it easier to manage through Google Maps on your phone, if you find it easier to manage through google.com/business, which is the first thing Isaac showed you, you have 3 options to choose from now. So take advantage of that until Google decides to change things again, which they do on the regular. So I'll pass it back over to you, Isaac. Your microphone.
I am unmuted now. I was just saying thank you, Kim, for updating everyone. We've been really digging into this new platform because this is literally happening live as we speak. I mean, the new way that Google is transitioning, they're updating it daily. They just got rid of the Google My Business app within the last 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it's things are updating quickly. So we're really glad that we got to share this with everyone, because as we predict in the future, we think most businesses are only going to be able to access it through the way that Kim just showed. So before they make that change, I do recommend that everyone goes into their back end, which I showed, and add the photos to the different categories, look at your stats, all of that kind of stuff. So Robert, do I have enough time to share just one more thing?
Yeah, we have a little bit of time, and then we can maybe jump into some of the questions.
Yeah, definitely. So right now, definitely, if anyone has any questions, ask them in the chat, and we're going to be reviewing them. I did just want to talk about reviews and how to handle when you get a 1-star or a bad review, because I tell all my clients, if you're in business for long enough, you're going to get a bad review at some point. It's either going to be you screwed up, and that happens sometimes, the person's just having a bad day and leaves you a bad review, or it's going to be a fake review. Those are really the 3 things that we see a lot. So as you can see, we have a lot of positive reviews, and they actually are sorted by most relevant, newest, highest, lowest. So most people are going to look at most relevant. So if we scroll down a bit, it's down here somewhere. So here we have our first 1-star review that we've ever received. Now, we knew immediately that we'd never worked with this person, that this is a fake review. But then what do you do when that happens, right? Or what do you do when maybe the person's having a bad day and blames your business? An example of this with Flancers actually was somebody wrote a review like, I've been coming to Flancers for 5 years. It's my favorite place ever, but they changed their potatoes, their French fries, and I can't believe they changed the French fries. Those are my favorite French fries. I'm giving them 1-star review and never returning ever again. You know, it was like, so you've enjoyed this business for 5 years. You came once, the potatoes were different. So we reached out to the owner and he was like, yeah, we're in the middle of the pandemic. My supply chain of potatoes broke down. I had to get different potatoes, but we're going to get the same potatoes in like 2 more weeks. You know, we just have to wait till they, you know, the supply chains opens back up again. You know, so what I like to do when that's the case, I actually like to put some humor in there because people are going to read the responses that happen. And so when you can add some humor, or if you can tell your side of the story, those are the kind of the 2 ways I tackle it. So as you can see here, you know, with the person they talked about, we promised all sorts of things, strong ROI from Google Ads. So right here, we don't offer Google Ads. We literally, nowhere on our website does it say that we offer Google Ads. They're talking about rating us badly for a service we don't even offer. And so, you know, that's where I'm able to say, I can tell this review is fake, you know, because 1, we don't offer Google Ads, and nowhere on our website does it say we do. Now somebody can go and check that and see that we don't. We also don't promise anything within, you know, marketing is hard. We can guesstimate how we're going to do it, but we don't promise anything. But I give this opportunity as a way to share our core values. So this actually, when somebody's reading this and sees what our core values are and they relate to our core values, that's actually going to drive somebody to move forward. And then I add some humor in it. We usually get way better than 4x ROI. What are you, Yelp? Because, you know, as most business owners know here, Yelp it really preys on local businesses. They're one of the biggest bullies to local businesses, unfortunately. And their advertisement is actually, for every $1 you spend on Yelp, you get 3 in return. Well, most businesses are operating at a 30% or lower profit margin. $1 or $3 back on 1 is not profitable for most businesses, to be honest with you. So a 3-to-1 ROI is not very good. And so I kind of put that, you know, 4x, you know, what are you, Yelp? And a lot of business owners are not very happy with Yelp because they are big bullies. And so, you know, and then I just end it with thanks for stopping by to let us know that, you know, our SEO is beating yours. Because the reason we got this review is some SEO company is upset that we're ranking higher than them now and they want to knock us down. So that was the way that I actually handled the review of that. Now we're actually going through Google to get this review removed because the next thing I did was I actually looked into this person. You can actually click into the person. You can see where they've left other reviews. This profile, it did have a couple reviews. You can see it says 2. Now it's only showing ours because the other review must have been removed. But what I actually did is I took a screenshot of this photo and then I did a reverse Google image search of that photo. So if you just type in reverse Google image search, you pull that up and you can actually then drag a photo in it. And then anywhere that photo shows up online, Google will show you. Well, what showed up here? Upsplash, which is a stock image company that sells stock images. I was able to go in and take screenshots showing that this picture is a stock image that's being sold on multiple stock image accounts, which is clearly fake. And so now we're going through and communicating with Google about this. Now it does take some back and forth. We've reported this. Google didn't take it down. So now we're going through the forum and actually showing evidence of, hey, look at this review is fake. This we don't offer the services they're saying we did bad on, and it's clearly a stock image that's being used. You come on, Google, you got to do a better job of finding these fake reviews. So this is just, I just wanted to show this as a real example of something that happened to our business. We're not really stressing about it because I think if people read our responses and then look at the 59 other 5-star reviews we have, the people are going to realize that this is fake and that we are offering really quality, you know, customer service and what we offer. The other thing that I suggest to people is just bury it, right? Bad reviews will happen sometimes. If you can get, as you see, you have to scroll down a decent ways to find this review. Most people won't even scroll down that far to find that negative review. Now they might search for newest, and again, you know, if they left that review, get 3 reviews before that, you know, newer reviews, and then boom, you know, that person's not, you're not seeing it as often either. So, you know, that's kind of the 2 main ways that I encourage people to handle bad reviews is 1, you know, tell your side of the story and don't get angry, don't get emotional, but tell your side of the story, add some humor to it. If it is your fault, because that sometimes happens, businesses make mistakes, sometimes that happens, do try and reach out to that person and fix it. So this happens. We coach our clients on if it is their fault, how do you reach out? How do you fix the issue? How do you ask for them to change their review? So, and mistakes happens, you know, sometimes you may be short-staffed and somebody had to wait longer than they thought was reasonable, whatever that is. So I just wanted to talk about reviews really quickly because that is a fear that a lot of businesses have, but I can tell you that asking for reviews, you know, is worth it because we have all these positives. We did get one fake bad star review and most people are going to see right through that. So the other quick thing I wanted to show again is that business scan. So I actually ran a business scan for our good friends, Local First Arizona. I know they're partners with AZ Commerce Authority and, you know, we're partners with them as well. And so this business scan will actually show you where you show up, and then we'll show you if like an address is incorrect. You can see this is an old address. It's actually pulling out their not-for-profit foundation. And so you can actually see that, and you can see where you're not listed as well. So this is really great to look at because it will show you if your phone number is wrong. And all that kind of stuff. Now, how do you fix this? In today's age, I actually used to do all this manually, but in today's age, you really need to use the software. A couple ways to go about this. One, if you partner with a company like us, we have the most cutting edge software. And so this is like month one for us is to fix all your data online and to get that updated. If you want a low cost option, this is the one I usually recommend is Moz.com, Moz Local. And then you can see it starts at $14 a month, you know, and the preferred is $20 a month. So you're looking at around $200 a year if you want to utilize this software. And I mean, just trying to do it manually nowadays just doesn't work. You know, this is the software that I recommend if you're trying to do it by yourself, or again, find an agency like ours that is already partnered with you know, a company or has software that does this and then utilize them to do it. So those are, you know, I just want to share with that because it is really important. It will increase your rankings if your data is correct across the web. So just wanted to show those couple things.
Everybody hanging around. I know it's a little past one, so I want to make sure that we answer these last two, what I feel are really valuable questions. Isaac, I would love to combine them both. Okay. One person says, does SEO only work if you have a Google My Business account? If not, can you explain how SEO works if you don't have Google My Business? The second question is, I search my business. I don't come up in the top 3, but I'm pretty active on Google compared to the other businesses that pop up. Is there something specific I should be doing or looking at? I'd love for you to speak to both of those, Isaac.
Okay, so the first one is, can you do SEO without a Google My Business profile? So what we were really covering today is local SEO. Local SEO really covers these business finders, essentially we call them. So this is Google Maps, this is Yelp, this is TripAdvisor. So in order to do local SEO, you are going to need to be on one of these platforms. You know, you might choose to really focus on Yelp, you may choose to focus on TripAdvisor, you know, whatever that may be depending on your industry. Now, SEO is also a category to get your website to rank. And so you could do potentially local SEO on your website where you're targeting keywords with what we call local modifiers. So if this is like, you know, computer repair services Phoenix, right? So that's, you know, if you're adding that local modifier to a keyword, so, you know, are you looking for the best computer repair services in Phoenix? You know, that would be a keyword that I'm importing that would be, you know, a local modifier on it. That could potentially definitely help your website if you're putting in those types of keywords into your website. Now, website SEO is far more complicated and it's hard to cover in just a 1-hour time period. So we didn't really jump into that too much today. And honestly, local SEO gets way more traffic than website SEO does at a way lower cost point. So we always suggest if you're starting out, build these local profiles first. Even if you offer national, build your local profiles first. It's a great foundation in SEO. Everything you do on this is going to help your website SEO. And when you're putting out posts, you're linking back to your website and doing those different things. So that all is going to help. So hopefully that answers that question with SEO, essentially every single platform. You know, for instance, Kim and I actually just launched our first Airbnb this year. So we've been learning how to do SEO on the Airbnb platform, and our house normally ranks #1 when you search, you know, if you're looking in Lake Havasu, you know, because we know SEO and we've been able to dig in and figuring out how, and it's different than other platforms, but how do they do their SEO? Amazon has their own SEO, you know, every platform is going to have their own SEO essentially. So now the second question, what was that again? If you can remind me.
Sorry. The other one was simply talking about, you just talked about SEO. So somebody doesn't show up in the top 3,
Okay,
but they're
yeah,
pretty active on GMB, but they're not showing up in the top 3. So
right.
in a nutshell, how to make that one short.
Right. So the first thing I suggest you do again is run this Google Business Scan. Go here, click free business scan and scan that and see what's popping up. There could be instances where your data is incorrect. Let's be honest, all of us entrepreneurs have used our phone number for multiple businesses, and that confuses Google. So if you use your phone number for multiple business and Google is seeing phone numbers, the same phone number used for multiple businesses, that's going to hurt your ranking. If they see, data, your address is different from here and here, or your name, even if your name is different, that's going to hurt your ranking. So those are all things to look at that can be really, really helpful. The next thing is to search for different keywords, right? So you might have one main keyword you want to rank for, but search for some other main keywords out there and see how you're showing up. That's really helpful. And I'm just going to pull up one thing. Give me 1 second so I can kind of show this.
While Isaac is pulling that up, very quickly, you guys take note on this. Google does have what's called trigger events, as in the more you touch that stuff, it sets off red flags to Google like, we should be suspicious of you. So if at all possible, do this the least. Change your address, your phone number, your business categories. Try to change those as little as possible. Also, if your business is in the process of getting verified, like you sent out a postcard and you're waiting for that, that's the best time to optimize your profile, because guess what? It's not live yet. So finagle with everything that you can first, so that way, once that postcard comes in and you can verify your business, now you're verified. You don't have to change your business categories, your address, your phone number, and those things, or at least not for a while. So that way you can stay under the radar and in good terms with Google still.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Definitely trigger events, especially make sure that you're following Google's terms and guidelines if you're going to be changing that data, because that does oftentimes trigger a manual review. And if you are outside the guidelines, that could cause a suspension for you. So definitely review the guidelines. Kim reviewed that quickly, but review that. You can find that, if you just type in, Google My Business Guidelines, you'll find that article. So I did want to show, okay, so we looked at girls basketball in Neo Mesa, right? So you can see our client shows up number 1, but if you're not showing up in the top 3, I would click on more places, and then I would then see how far down am I ranking? Am I in the top 10? Am I in the top 20? There's 20 results that show on this. And so you can get a sense of how far out of the top 3 you are. If you're number 4 or number 5, that's great. You're in striking position, right? And so at that point, you might want to, one, look into what are the other businesses doing, and to see, can you glean any information about what they're doing. The other big thing is to make sure that you're talking about these services or the keywords that you want to show up for on your website. So when you're creating a Google My Business account, Google will literally, what it does is sends out what it calls spiders. These spiders crawl the entire web. It grabs all this data, it brings it back to Google Hub, and they take all this data and then they decide who's going to show up the highest. So those spiders are going to go and click onto your website, and then they're going to see, hey, if I'm talking about, a girls basketball club, do I mention that on my website? For instance, we work with painters in Pennsylvania, and they really wanted to grow their interior painting during the winter time, right? Because that was an off season for them, and they wanted to keep, working. And so when I went onto the website, they had nothing about interior painting on their entire website. So we actually rebuilt the whole website. But what we made sure we did was put a whole page that talked about interior painting on the website. So this is how website SEO and local SEO can intertwine. So I would recommend figuring out what keywords you want to do, put a Google post out about that keyword, put that learn more button in, and link it to a page that you've put out on your webpage that is all about that keyword. Don't overstuff keywords, right? So don't, if we're writing a page, don't put girls basketball club, 80 times on a page. Google will see through that. Typically, you want to have a 3 to 5% keyword density, which typically means using the keyword 1 to 5 times, 2 to 5 times throughout the content of that page. Put it in the title tag, which is the bold, big tag at the top. And you can even put it in the URL or when you're doing the backslash, and then, put a keyword in that URL. So those would be my, quick suggestions without looking into what you offer, is to do, those things. And again, that business scan, run that business scan, see how you're showing up. Those things should certainly help you get an idea of where your opportunities are, and to just strengthen that trust that you have with Google in terms of ranking for those specific keywords.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Isaac and Kim. Great presentation. I know we went a little bit long. I want to thank all the participants for hanging around and listening to those great answers, because it was great the information that you shared. I know we didn't get to all the questions, but Kim did a great job of going through and summing those up. I noticed some of the questions were answered in the webinar itself. So this is it was recorded, or is recorded, so it will be available in our content library later today for those that want to go back. And we will have Kim and Isaac share their presentation so we can put that on there as well. But with that, we want to go ahead and wrap up. We want to appreciate Isaac and Kim for sharing their time and their expertise with us. And with that, we will wrap up. We hope to see you next Tuesday with us. But until then, have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
And Robert, if I
Yes.
may, if any of you enjoyed this webinar, if you guys found value in this webinar, I would so politely like to ask for you guys to leave us a review, because again, this helps us be able to speak to more, groups, amazing people like AZ Commerce Authority. I just put the review link in there. Again, see how I'm not shy about asking for a review? Do it. But we really appreciate it. And thank you, Robert, again, and Faith, for giving us the opportunity to help you guys. We really hope you found value in this. And again, we'd love to hear your feedback. Leave us an awesome review, and thank you.
All right. Thank you. And great plug for Google and actively using what you're teaching. So thank you very much. And again, we'll see everybody next Tuesday. Have a great week.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.